Hi, I'm Alex Archbold, and I've been buying and selling antiques since I was 9 years old. From basements to scrapyards, I'll look just about anywhere I can to find lost antiques and collectibles. And sometimes I'll go big and buy everything. With my wife and kids, we run an antique shop in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, filled with some of the most unique items we can find. I never know what's going to happen or who I'm going to meet. This is our life, this is our adventure, and this is Curiosity Inc.
I'm home, honey.
Morning, everyone. It is a rainy day today, and I am off to go to the country to go look at a collection of antiques and who knows what else. But before I do, Melissa's given me a honeydew list, and I've got to take a whole bunch of stuff to Charity. So we're going to be using her vehicle today and heading out of town. So follow along on our adventure. Who knows what's going to happen? Who knows what we're going to find? But we're going to know in the next 10-15 minutes or so. Keep watching. There we go. That stuff's all off to Charity. And hopefully I'll fill it up again, this time with antiques. Well, at least the rain's letting up a little bit. I do enjoy getting out to the country. It's just stunning, even on a rainy day. Well, I like the driveway, just kind of two ruts leading up to the house. Hopefully some of these old barns have things inside. We will see what we will see. It's a hewn log structure. You can tell by the way the logs are put together there. That's an old building. That's been there for a long time. Homestead era. Okay. Yeah, this would have been, what, probably 2 stalls for your livestock in here, and then maybe chickens or something on the other side?
This side here was predominantly a granary, I think.
A granary on this side, okay.
The other side was a barn.
Woodward's antifreeze. Oh yeah, I have a feeling we're gonna find some stuff. I mean, when was the last time somebody really dug through here looking for things?
Oh, I go in there once in a while when I'm looking for something that I can't find somewhere else.
Oh yeah.
Every once in a while you actually have success.
I don't think you used your toolbox here in a bit. It's getting a little dusty.
I don't even know what's in that toolbox.
At some point, somebody has lined this building with old oil cans.
Probably.
And tobacco tins.
Probably.
Yeah, well, 100%.
That would have been Grandpa.
I can see that's Milbank, a cigarette. He edged the corners with old tins and cans. Let's see if I can brush this off here.
The weather out.
Yeah, they weatherproofed using, and that's early. That's a North Star can with the green stars. That would have been. You know, the funny thing is, this can, if it wasn't cut up and used for, there's William Penn on it right there. If that can hadn't been cut up and used for siding, that could be a valuable can to a collector. And yeah, wheelbarrow. That's an old yard light, the porcelain end on it. But I'm thinking that a lot of these are old, yeah, they are. They're old oil cans. In fact, the ones on the back wall were a Narco, which is a really early type of oil can. This whole building, I think, what you'd find is that these are oil cans that are cut and put on the wall as filler. I'm gonna see if I can get
That's going to be glass in those things.
glass. Okay, is it old or?
Well, some of it will be, yeah.
Okay, I'll be careful. I'll step in between.
Well, we just don't want to get rid.
Oh, yeah. I'm not worried about me as much. I don't want to break your stuff. But yeah, those are 1920s oil cans.
Makes sense.
Yeah, those are all just lined with 1920s oil cans. It's funny, you get back into a barn like this and you look up and see a hornet's nest right above your head. That one's not active, thankfully. Otherwise, I'd be getting out of here in a hurry. What's that?
Are you allergic?
No, I just don't like being stung by things.
I got rid of all them baskets.
Oh, that one doesn't. Oh, there's a sign down there. of some kind, right in the corner there. They took apart a sign and it said something farm machines. Oh, International Harvester Farm Machine. That's an International Harvester Farm Machines sign right there that they've cut up and used. Yeah, there's a 63 Valiant. That's actually probably, is it very rusty or?
It's got a little bit of rust on the bottom of it, yeah.
It's a two-door.
Two-door, it's got about 78,000 original miles on it, I think.
Okay. Doctor's bag. Okay, well there's another oil can right there, or a rubber can. Now you said there's a weasel in here somewhere, so I
thought there, well, as I said, I saw it run in the other day. If it stayed or it left, I thought I saw something running across the other day.
Well, I guess we're gonna get brave and we're gonna see if we meet a weasel while we're in here. Every time I come out, it seems like I go out to people's houses like this and people say, well, where do you find these old cars? And then you find them like this. And then I feel like my instinct is I just have to save it. Oh, it's been sitting here a long time. I hear them. They're in there somewhere. It doesn't sound like a whole hive full, but there's definitely some buzzing activity.
Bee that got in there by mistake?
No, the old front doors are kind of neat.
Well, don't go digging too hard on those because I'm not sure.
No, I don't want to get stung or anything like that.
Sell them, but
yeah. Oh, I see the old the vents.
yeah, there's like the old floor vents here.
Yeah, I see that. So there was a barn that burnt down here.
There was.
And yeah, there's the hail-off pulley right there underneath the parts of the old cement foundation. And it's even got the rail still attached to it.
Yeah.
Neat. I've decided to come back in and try peeling a couple of these old oil cans off the walls. And I'm curious to know what's on the underside of these. If these are also cans. So I've got some tools he's lent me. I'm gonna pop one off and see what's under. This floor is literally giving out underneath me. Look at this. There's nothing left. I'd be very careful where I stand. In fact, it's probably gonna be safer if I just step right through the floor and onto the dirt underneath. But what I'm trying to do is get to this sign right here. I'm sure it is. I can see that's an International Harvester sign, what's left of it. But right here, this is another sign. We're gonna try peeling it back and see what it is. Darn it, I wanted to save this International Harvester sign, but as I'm pulling the board away, I'm gonna take down the guy's whole wall. And as much as I want that sign, I don't want to be paying to reconstruct an entire, half of a barn wall here, even though this thing's falling over. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to leave that because it's just so rotted in here. That little one on the bottom ended up being nothing. If it was a sign, it's all deteriorated. So I'll focus my efforts on trying to lift back a couple of these other panels and see what we get. That's too bad. That's a very early International Machinery sign, and you could have pieced it back together too. I'll talk to him later, and if they tear down the barn, I'll come and grab it. But for now, I don't want to accidentally demolish this place. There's an old well pump here. Old heater, an old stove. Little boxes and crates. And going through a barn like this, at first glance, you think, oh, I want out of here, it's gross. But then you start looking and you start seeing that there's little bits of treasure everywhere. Aside from the ones on the wall, I found piles of original oil cans in actually very decent shape that were used for screws and nuts and bolts. And that sound you hear while he's cutting off the old metal. This is it, the old hail-off pulley from the old burnt down barn. Definitely worth saving out of the scrap pile. So that's it. So I am a happy camper. The back of the vehicle is loaded up. Sorry, Melissa, if my wife is watching right now. I'm kind of using your car for a lot of farmy type stuff, but we'll clean it out later. Anyway, a good day from the old steamer trunks, and they're the archtop style, to the toys, to the hail-off pulley that we pulled out of the ditch, and the barn full of oil cans that if they were in mint condition, those oil cans would be worth hundreds and hundreds of dollars each. Sadly, I only pulled one off to keep as sort of a souvenir. But yeah, really interesting day, really good finds, and I'm super happy. I am back at the house and I've offloaded and put the cans in some of these bins so they're a little cleaner looking now. There's early Ford antifreeze tins, Woodwards, which doesn't exist anymore up here. There are even the antifreeze tins like that guy, Esso, Castrol. I always kind of hope to find oil cans, and I found a whole bunch today. Sadly, the ones off the side that were worth the most, like that would be a really expensive can if it was complete. I took one off as a memento, but an old cowboy hat. This cowboy hat's kind of funny. It's from Denver, Colorado. Rockmount Ranchwear. Maybe somebody in Denver recognizes that. Rockmount Ranchwear. It looks to be 1950s or so to me. It was kind of cool. There's the old public benefit boot polish tin. We got the Hayloft pulley out. It's all back together. Well, we don't have the rail for it, but it's out of the scrap pile, and you know, that'll be a cool piece for someone who's going to turn it into maybe a hanger for a chandelier, who knows what. A couple steamer trunks. Now, this one I went through. Have not gone through this one yet. We were kind of loading stuff up out of the garage that had the old 63 Valiant in it. When I also got the old radio here. And I think, let's see if I can get, we're going to give this a go and see if this thing actually works. He says it was rebuilt at some point. Let's find out. First step, try the on button. Okay. One of these is probably going to be tuning or volume. This is a shortwave, so it would actually pick up radio stations all around the world. Oh. Okay. Let's see if I can tune it. There we go. It's trying to work. I have a feeling what this needs is an antenna hooked up to it. It seems like it's trying to pick up the stations, but sometimes these won't work unless you have an antenna. That might be another project for another day. This trunk, which I've not opened yet, is said to contain his childhood toys. Now, I'm a big toy collector, so I've been kind of leaving this one for last, and I'm gonna do a separate video on just opening up that trunk. So I'm gonna leave it. I'm hoping there's some good stuff in there. When he said it might have some toy cars, I thought I'm gonna leave that one and be excited about it later on. So we'll do a separate video on that. But for now, I think that's a pretty good haul. So thanks so much for watching today's episode, guys. It was a lot of fun going through that barn, all that really cool old stuff in there. He said that barn was from the late 1800s. Logs, hand-hewn logs, and just an amazing amount of cool stuff in there. Sadly, those oil cans were a little too far gone, and the barn would have started to collapse had I taken the International Harvester sign down. If he knocks that thing over in the near future, I might go back and salvage it, but we'll see. In the meantime, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you all soon, and bye for now.